right, guys, top of the morning. Happy February 6th, coming to you alive, coming to you well, coming to you full of energy. I got to the office today at 5:15 a.m. So to think about that from a context level, that means I had to get on the road very, very early this morning. So I'm stoked to be here. I'm excited, but I've also been doing a lot of reflection this week. My mother-in-law has been in the hospital since the day before I went to Aspen. She's been in the hospital. Last night, they moved her to I guess it's like a nursing home, but the fortunate thing for our family is that at that nursing home, Larissa's best friend since she was a kid works at the nursing home. So there's always a fear, is your elderly parents or, relatives going to be taken care of? Are they going to be, loved on while they're there? And fortunately we have someone there, but it's a really, really tough time. It's a tough time for my wife and everything that she's going through, not only carrying a child, but now having to worry about her mom. Is mom going to make it? And so it's definitely a lot on the family, but at the end of the day, we still show up for one another. We're here. Silas has been getting in a little bit of trouble at school, but what are you going to do? It's life. So I'm grateful to be here, grateful for another opportunity at this beautiful thing that we call life, because someone in the world right now has it worse than you do. Someone has it worse than you do. And so I'm just grateful. It's an honor to always be here with you guys. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Alexis, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. You, my friend, are going to take us out on the field. I'll tell you what, you guys, I've listened to many buyer consultations over the years. Hundreds, probably thousands of buyer consultations. I've listened to the flow. I've helped design buyer consultations, and I had a call with Alexis, and she ran over a buyer consultation with me yesterday. And I just have to give you all the accolades and all the praise. It was absolutely fire, way to deliver at the highest level. And so I figured I'd give you the mic to bring everybody out on the field on this beautiful, amazing Friday morning. So let's roll, my friend.
Oh, thank you for that, Elias. Wow. Good morning, everyone. I think I've been really sitting on just this year, the mantra of just being present. I know this job, this field, this career can be really hectic, and we're working 24/7, 7 days a week grinding, but just finding those pockets of moment to be present. Last week, I got a chance to just hang out with my nephew, random Thursday morning. This career can afford us that, just a random Thursday morning to go out to breakfast and then go out to the park. And that took maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and to just be present with him, spend that time, see him run around, play around. And so, just letting everyone know to take those times in the moment. I know we can get burnt out in this field, but to take those time to just be present with your loved ones. It's really important, not only for yourself, for the people around you, to know that you're still showing up for them and you're showing up for yourself for doing that. So.
Wow. I'm really glad that you had this. I watched the speaker the other day, and he said that he closes up shop, and he's gotten in this routine over the last 6 months of closing down shop. Right? If we were in a retail shop, if we were at corporate America, or if it was your own business, you would literally turn off the lights, you would put the lock on the door, put the alarm on, and you'd go home for the night, right? Well, for us, our work goes home with us. It goes with us on date night. It goes to us to the park. It goes to baseball practice, basketball practice, goes to all of the games. Our work goes everywhere with us. And so I think it's important as we're growing, as we're developing, and as we're truly wanting to be present in a true state of consciousness, that we find that time to really unplug. And so this guy said he comes home, and at 6 o'clock, he turns his phone off and he puts it away. And so during that time, he is present with his family. And when he goes on date night with his wife, I know we're encouraged and we want to think I need my phone. And I need it, and I want to take pictures of all my food. He's like, I leave it in the car, and we just go and have that time to be present. He's like, it's crazy how little that is, but how much closer that we've gotten as a family. And then he also turned his time in reading in the morning. So what he was doing is he'd get up early in the morning and he would read, but then his kids would never see him ever reading, because after school, when he got home, he would just be busy, but he wouldn't have that still time. So then he started saying, in the evening time, when I set aside my phone, I'm also going to turn the TV off as a family. And we're going to sit here and we're going to read. Whatever they want to read, they can read. Whatever I'm reading, I'm going to read. But we're going to chill, and we're going to have an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. And so I really appreciate this message, Alexis, because it just came up. And there's very few times where I don't go somewhere with my phone, or at least taking pictures or updating Instagram. And so I think it's a really powerful message to just stay present in the pocket and be there in those moments. So you guys, I have a lot of stuff prepared for you today. And so what I'm going to encourage you guys to do before we speed up is I want us to slow down. I want to encourage you guys, if you're not driving, grab a piece of paper, get fully present, be in this moment, because we're going to cover a lot of stuff. And you guys, I'm always grateful when I come back from trips to be a kid from the streets, to go to Aspen, which is, has anybody ever been to Aspen on this call? Please raise your hand if you've been to Aspen. It's super fancy, fur everything, and fur hats, and fur boots, and fur jackets. It's fancy. It's a very affluent place to go to. And like, to be a kid from the streets, to go to a place like Aspen, to be an MC for our mastermind group, it's just really, really cool. I do want to share this with you guys. Our next Fast Forward Movement Mastermind, open to everybody, that's going to happen in May, and that's going to be in Charleston. It's in downtown historic Charleston, cobblestone streets, historic, beautiful buildings. And so I want to encourage you guys. I want to encourage you guys to look at your budget and say, what does it look like for me to be able to go to Charleston in May? It's May 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I'll make sure to confirm the date, and I'll give you guys the link. That way you have it. But I'll tell you what, get yourself in those rooms. Ophelia made it happen. She got herself out to Aspen and got herself super uncomfortable. And I hope that she joins the call today so she can give you her takeaways. But I highly encourage you to get to some of these events because they're absolutely powerful. Not only what happens in the sessions from an educational level, but what happens afterwards, and the skiing and the events and the snowmobiling and champagne showers, all these things that everyone went to. It is really, really cool. I want to make sure that, more and more of our community gets there. So let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. I'm going to go to blessing. Anything on your mind in particular that you want to talk about today? Anything that you would hope that we cover on today's call? Yeah, I know. I'm going to put you right on the spot, my friend.
That's a different request.
I know.
I think I'm always encouraged by, if there was a challenge, how did we overcome it? Because sometimes we can get stuck in it, with it being Action Friday, like what action are we committed to taking to keep the momentum going? Because I know I saw a lot of posts where the middle of the week was a little heavy, and going through the rest of this month, we've got a lot of events coming up. So what is everyone doing to stay in motion? I think that's something I find encouraging to hear.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to hear that. Does anybody have also any plans for February, for this month of love? Do you have a Soulmates campaign, a Valentine's Day? I just want to make sure we have this conversation really quick to throw out some ideas, talk about campaigns. Does anybody have anything that they want to share, contribute, drop? Going once. All right, Christina, what do we have?
Hey, good morning, guys. So we are hosting at the Money Store at Galentine's for all of our realtor partners. So you guys are welcome to come. It's going to be, chocolate covered strawberries. We have like a Botox vitamin shot girl. We have a piercing person coming, and we're just going to have a lot of fun things. So I would definitely say, if you guys are in the area, please stop by. Men are welcome too, but it's just really a fun night. And it's going to be on Thursday from 5 to 8.
Okay, I absolutely love this. So at the event, they had somebody there doing IVs. They were doing just vitamins, like Myers cocktail, whatever they call it. A lady passed out. It was crazy. She turned gray, and like I saw her, she was like falling out, and then the needle came out, and there was fucking blood everywhere. And so,
is she like not good with maybe needles and blood?
Like, I don't know if it was the needles, the anxiety, and it was like everyone was around, and like, plus the elevation is not, so it was hard. But anyways, I'm sure your event's going to be great.
Thanks, Elias. We're going to have the sniffing salts. So if anybody passes out, we're going to have a backup plan.
First day there, I go to a wellness spa in Aspen. I was like, okay, let's go wellness spa. So we get like our vitamin injections. We have oxygen. We got these things, compression things on our legs. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Well, then they're like, do you want to try NAD? I was like, sure. I've heard great things about NAD. I'm familiar with NAD. I know what it does for the body. And they're like, all right, cool. We're going to give you 150 milligrams. I'm like, cool. So she turns the thing on. And then I don't know if you've ever gotten an NAD injection. It came on so heavy, my chest, I was hot, I couldn't breathe. And I was like, you got to slow down. You got to slow down. You got to slow it down. And so she slowed it down. Then finally the drip, but it like instantly caused anxiety. She's like, it's kind of like a morphine rush. I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I almost had to pull the thing out of my arm. But anyways, I can't wait for your event. Sorry, Christina. I'm sure it will be great. I just have a little PTSD from this last week, anything regards to needles and IV treatment. But wonderful. Ilana, let's go over to you, my friend. She is just getting over a flu, so I'm not too sure she'll be on camera. But Ilana, what do you got for us, my friend?
That would be correct. I will not be on camera. I barely have my voice, it turns out. I'm not doing an event per se, but I do get drips every other week. I do get drips as like just part of my daily regimen or my monthly regimen. And I will say the hydration is like the greatest thing you can do. It's like drinking 1.5 gallons of water in one shot. It's awesome. But for Valentine's, what I do is I send out Valentine's cards to my clients. And in those cards are addressed, stamped cards that they can then send something to someone they love. And it's easy and they always appreciate it. It's just such a lovely little gesture.
Yeah, that's cute. I haven't heard of this approach, and it's simple, it's cost effective, and I think it's something that we can all do. So really cool stuff. I love that. And how long have you been doing that?
Probably 10 years already.
Wow.
You know who I got it from? And you probably have, Julie Dudum?
Yeah.
That was from Julie. I got that from Julie in 2015 or 16. Yeah. And it's such a lovely little gesture that just says, I'm thinking about you. I love you. Now send some love to someone you love.
Wow. Oh, cool. What a great idea. Great idea. I appreciate the share. So you guys, let's go right into the presentation. I got some things prepared for you guys, and I'm going to pull my screen up right here. And I'm going to encourage you guys. Today is going to be one of those days where I'm going to encourage you guys to take notes. But before we get there, before we get to anything that I have prepared, I want to ask if you guys have seen this dude, this kid, basically. He's probably 22 years old. Has anybody seen this guy on social media? If you have, please take yourself off of mute and just say, yeah, sure, I have. I've seen this guy. Alexis, you've seen him?
Yeah, his content is really funny. I love when he gets into the zone and he makes his little life insurance calls. I think it's hilarious. It's doing really well on social media. I see him on TikTok and on Instagram. It's doing really well.
All right, so I'm going to pause you for a quick second. And my question to you and to anybody else on the call, feel free to answer this. What can we learn from him? What can we learn from him? 22-year-old dude, killing it on social media, not just about being present on social media, but from a sales standpoint, what can we learn from this kid? Alexis, that's for you, my friend.
Oh, sorry. I was waiting for someone to answer. I think it's just being bold. I know sometimes it's freaking nerve-wracking to make that cold call, but even if he gets rejected, whatever it is, he's just in a good mood. Like his spirits are just up and he's like fearless. Like he doesn't care if it's bad or if it's good. He's just putting himself out there and making a name for himself. So I'm like, man, you're killing it, And so I kind of take that in with me now when I'm making calls. I'm like, I got this and putting myself in that mood. Yeah, he's good.
I love it. I love it. Nikki, you had your hand up really quick. What can we learn from Giuliano Massaretti? What can we learn from him?
Yes. Hey guys, happy Friday. Someone tagged me in that video a while back and I had to watch it a few times because I thought it was so funny, but most importantly, bold, like she said, like filming yourself, doing a cold call to someone. But the part that made it great was it was all original. So this one call, he called and said, hey, so-and-so, hey, Mr. Johnson, I have good news and bad news for you. Which one do you want to hear first? So we started off with that. I'm like, okay. And then he's the bad news. He's like, okay, well, the bad news, this is a cold call. But the good news is I have an opportunity for you. So that, and then the guy actually laughed because he didn't expect him to say that. But being creative with how you approach people, I think is always better. It's always a win-win situation when you're like authentic instead of sounding so salesy. So, but yeah, but I'm going to do that and I'll tell you how that goes. So, but yeah, I've seen that guy before. He's pretty funny.
So listen, you guys, the greatest thing about Giuliano Massaretti is the energy that he puts into making sales calls. He literally puts himself into a state. He plays the music. He's ready for it. I know I'm going to get rejected. It's okay. That's part of the game. He puts the music on. He works on his flow. He's got the same line opener or the same opener. He has a style about him. He knows that people are going to say no, but he's okay with it. When they say no and they hang up with him, he puts his music back on, gets back into a state and then gets into his flow again. I think that's the type of energy that we need, right? Oftentimes we look at calling the database, calling leads from the open house, calling leads from the farm. It's like, oh my God, I got to make calls. Yep, they said I got to make calls. And that's the type of energy that we have, right? It's imagine that was my, oh my God, I got to get on Zoom. Okay, I got to get on Zoom. No, like I'm excited to be here. You see, peak states don't just arrive. We've got to demand that of ourselves. And what he does is he demands that himself every single time he gets on a sales call, and then look at the kid's success. He's a kid. He's 22 years old, has a beautiful condo overlooking the ocean, bought this beautiful car. He's doing great things. He's probably getting all kinds of partnerships because of Instagram, because of TikTok. But he literally is looking at rejection and saying, you know what? How can I make the most fun out of this and make this an experience and document my experience? And by doing so, the dude's blown up. I'm talking about him. Other people are talking about him. And so I just want you, the lesson that I want you to take from that guy, and go and follow him. I want you guys to take, like, this should be an experience. It should be something that it lights you up when you're making sales calls. It should be something that you fully get ready for, instead of like, oh, I got to make some calls. Okay. Hello. Hey, Tom. Like, there's no energy behind it. This dude brings the energy. So Gary, I'm going to go to you really quick and we'll shift gears in the conversation, but I just want to share that with you because he was on my mind this morning. Let's go, G.
Man, I was going to say sort of the same thing, but that's the energy. So it's what people need to understand is energy is contagious. Right. So he's basically coming to the energy with the energy, like to the call with the energy he wants in return. And he sets it up nicely. Even people, I get excited for sales calls. If anyone's in the office, hears me make calls, it's like, I'm excited, and people blow their mind because they could tell I'm excited. And they're like, so they give you a little bit more time, a little more grace. And they're like, well, wait a minute, maybe I'm not seeing something. When in the music industry I'm in, I don't know if anyone's seen my video I put up on my page, and it says, I wake up looking for the no's. Some of the best yeses come with the no's, right? And if we're not getting any no's, I'm telling everyone on this call, if you're not getting no no's today, are you even trying? What are we doing? Not one no? Not a single no. We scared of one no. And my dad told me something as a little kid when I used to sell subscription newspapers door to door in the hood. And I was scared. He said, Gary, you can't get 20 no's in a row. It's impossible. You do it, you can't get 20 in a row. I'm like, yeah, I can. He goes, prove me wrong. And I was never able to get 20 no's in a row, door to door, no matter how much I was fucking up, no matter how much I tried to bullshit. I could not get past 8 or 9 no's in real life person where they're like, yeah, let's just do it, kid. And people are looking for the nudge. Have you ever went somewhere with someone and they're like, oh, what are we going to do? Oh, what do you want to eat? They're looking for the suggestion. They're looking for space in their life that they don't have right now. As we always say, people love to buy things. They don't like to be sold. You know what I mean? So that energy he brings is just contagious.
Yeah, I totally agree. So if you guys haven't checked out this guy, check out his video. And the one thing I just want you guys to see is like how he sets himself up for it. He's got music, he makes it an event, he makes it an experience for himself, and he's having some fun. So go and check him out. I thought I'd drop his name on here today. Let's get right into the content for the day. So the art of the close. Like I said, my goal is to make sure that everybody on. So what I want to ensure that we do is constantly get better on the sale. Is it breaking up?
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Sorry. How are we doing? How are we doing now?
Better.
Is it better? Better? Okay. If it gets choppy again, just do that. Interrupt me. I'm in the office. No one else is here. So just let me know. How are we doing though, Blessing?
You're good. Keep rolling.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, so let's go art of the close. Closing isn't pressure, it's leadership in motion. Remember what I said last week, you guys. Leadership first. Consumers need you to be leaders. They don't need to have a follower and a follower. You need to be that leader in the industry. And let's go through some framework today. So I'm going to take you through a couple objections. Feel free to throw your hand up. Let's get involved in the conversation. I'm going to take you through some really cool stuff this morning. So let's get right into the conversation. We want to see if the market changes or interest rates go down. When you think about the psychology of a buyer, when you think about what they are feeling and what they're thinking, if they ever say this, what are they actually saying? What is the consumer saying? What is the psychology of a consumer that may state something like this? Feel free to take yourself off when you get involved in this conversation.
They want an easier price to get in a house. No matter what they talk about interest rates, they just want to be able to afford the house they want. So that tells them that it's worth trying now. It's worth trying just because it says that. But in reality, we know what happens when you wait.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Bless you. What's your take on this? When you think about the psychology of a buyer, what are they actually saying in this moment?
There's a question of uncertainty. They just want to know, like, can they make a move forward? What, do we wait? Do we want to see, like, there's the headlines are giving them too much noise, and what they're asking for is basically a clear voice. They want the clear direction and to remove as much friction as possible.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go, Miss Christina Macias. When you hear this, what's the consumer actually saying?
Yeah, I think they're actually saying, I don't want to have to come in with this huge amount of money because I don't have that right now, or something in that nature. I think they're also thinking, oh, if interest rates are high, my monthly is going to be high. So they're just thinking it from a really, really high perspective instead of really getting down to it. Like, if we can get them to tell us, like, well, I'd be comfortable with this amount monthly, or would you be comfortable if we could get you a payment at this amount? And then they don't care about the interest. So I think just really kind of dissecting their bigger fears is going to help.
That's really good stuff. I appreciate all of your guys' vantage points on here. I put some stuff on the screen. What's really happening here? Fear is disguised as logic, outsourced uncertainty to the future, right? There's just some fear. They're fearful about the market because they might have heard something. And so here's a really, really good rebuttal for us. And I want us to really reframe this when we're talking to our consumers. Feel free to take screenshots of this. That way you can practice this. That way you can put it into your flow, into your dialogue. Most of my clients, they don't buy because rates drop. They buy because their circumstances say that they are ready to start building wealth and security for their family. Is that the same for you? I literally, when I was writing this, when I was going through this framework, I was like, that's literally the things that we say, because it doesn't say, okay, well, let me know. And then push, I hear you, but if you see something that you like, no, we're leading. Listen, it doesn't matter what's happening in the market. Does it make sense for you and your family? And is it important for you to start building wealth and security for your family now? Is that what's important to you? Wonderful. So here's what we should do next. We should at least get on a buyer strategy call. That way I can explain to you everything that you need to know about the market. Also, address any questions that you have about the market, patterns, conditions, and nuances. Does that make sense, Mr. Buyer? Does that make sense, you guys? Everyone on the call, take yourself off of mute, throw your hand up, get involved in the conversation. Does that make sense to you? And is this something that you guys could use in this framework? Doesn't have to be word for word, but in this framework. Does that make sense? And can you use this?
Definitely makes sense. It's a good, we could use this. I could use it.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, let's continue cruising on. Here's another objection that we may get, and we probably have gotten over our time. I read an article that says the market looks bad. Okay. So we hear that all the time because people are sheep. They are led by a shepherd, which is the industry, and this is the articles that they're reading. Christina, if a consumer says this, I read an article that says the market looks bad, what are they actually saying? What is the psychology of a buyer in this moment right here?
They're expressing their own fear. They're expressing their own fear and what they don't know. And a lot of times I feel like if they're just reading an article like that, they're wanting to hear an educated answer from you. It's almost like, here's my fear, unless you tell me something that's going to make me feel better, because I'm just not educated in this topic. And so whenever a client, says that, you have to be able to spit some facts to them. And it's almost, or even you don't have to get so detailed in real estate, but just build that trust. They need to feel like they can trust you in the conversation and that you're going to have their best interest. Whenever I'm having a buyer consultation with a client and I'm telling them, I know in my head, okay, if they have all this money in their savings, they're not going to need a down payment assistance, but I'm going to provide it to them and I'm going to provide the option. And I always end it with, I'm going to provide these options to you so that you can do what's best for you and your family. So I'm educating them and I'm making them feel like I'm not selling them just one thing. and they feel like they almost release their anxiety, and they love that comment every time. Like, feel free to steal that, guys, because they sit back and then they say, okay, this is on me though. If she's not pushing me to get pre-approved, complete an application, but now I want to because she's going to make me feel better. I'm going to be able to sit down and pick what loan option I want. And if I really want to do it, and then they'll complete the application and move forward, because then they're curious. They're like, ooh, well, I want to know what down payment assistance or first time home buyer program I'm eligible for. And I'm not going to know it unless I get started on the application. So, okay, I'm going to do it.
Really, really good stuff. At the end of the day, I always look at it this way. If a consumer is saying, oh, I read this article and the article is saying this and so much, doom and gloom or whatever that is, I ask myself this question: what was it about the information that influenced their decision and influenced their choice, right? So that information won, right? It won them over, it won their mind, it won their psychology, it won them over, right? And so if that information won and influenced their decision, don't I know more? Can I share with them light? Can I provide more influence and more guidance? And so that's exactly where this conversation goes. Because what is really happening when a consumer starts to hit you with things like that, it is borrowed fear from the headlines written for clicks, not context. You see, they are seeing the headlines, but what they need to experience is the truth behind what is actually in the headlines. And I think Patty Goodspeed says that better than anybody in our industry. So here's how we reframe this. And you've heard me say this over and over again, but what I realize is that we don't have this written enough. We don't have it on screen enough for you guys to be able to take shots of this and come back to this. So here's how we're going to reframe that. I totally understand. Can I give you some perspective from inside of the market? Right? And I just want you to hear those words out one more time. I totally understand. First off, empathy. Can I give you some perspective from inside the market? When I say inside of the market, what does that say to the consumer? What does that say to the consumer in that moment right there? God bless you, Nikki. Who wants to take themselves off of mute? If I tell you, can I give you perspective from inside of the market? What am I saying to the consumer?
You're saying that you are someone that knows. You're an insider. You have inside information that they don't have access to because you are actually working in the market.
Correct.
My goal, not just reporting on it. I live it, not just reporting on it.
I live it. I'm not just reporting on it. My goal is to influence their decision with the data and the information that I have about the market. Can I share with you the reality of what's actually happening in our local market? You see, I want to share with you the reality because you have a perception, and I'm going to share with you what's actually happening in our local market. They'll say absolutely yes. And so then you share with them what is actually happening in your market. Well, how do you know? Well, because you're educated, because you read, because you look at the articles, because you're looking at the MLS every single day. You're taking notes, you're out previewing properties. If you're not in contract right now, you're out there seeing properties every single week, so you know the inventory in your market. We win. We influence their decision based on the things that are happening in the market. And so I'm going to go here and I'm going to reframe this for everybody. And feel free to continue to take screenshots of this, take notes of this, because I believe that this is going to help all of us book more appointments. Articles speak in averages. Decisions are personal. What matters is how the market affects you, not the headline. God, this is really, really good stuff, you guys. Articles speak in averages. And you know what the articles also speak about? They speak in a national sense, right? You see all these articles that do a big macro view of our industry, but they don't talk about micro markets, specifically Bay Area, Sacramento, Central Valley. They don't speak in microclimates, they speak in macroclimates. So personalization, close. If the article was right, the smartest move would be to get clear on how it impacts your price range, timeline, and leverage, not to pause blindly. That's why the next step is a short strategy session, not a decision today. You see, what we're doing is we're reframing that conversation. So what we need to do is analyze that information. Is it impacting them, their price range, their ability to move forward? And if so, then cool, then we'll address that. But in most cases, it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to strategize with them so they can see the light and see what happens next. Make sense so far, you guys? All right, cool. Let's go to the future pace. The future pace closed. This is the principle. People move forward towards Pictures of certainty. I'm telling you this over and over and over again. Those that have the most certainty in any communication are those that are going to have the most influence. You see, oftentimes when we think about why we are not prevailing in sales, what happens is it's not a lack of communication. It is often at times a lack of influence. You could deliver the information, you could deliver the words, but if they're not influencing human behavior, then you have a disconnect in how you, my friends, are influencing the human beings in your world. And so when we look at this framework, when we think about how people move toward the pictures of certainty, how are we creating certainty no matter what is happening with our consumer? So when to use? And I'm going to put my screen on really quick. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry about that. All right. When to use? When emotion is present, but action hasn't clicked. When emotion is present, but action hasn't clicked, meaning they're excited, but maybe they just haven't seen the houses, or they're a little bit fearful, or they don't want to go, they're dragging, all these things, right? The action just hasn't clicked in yet. Here's a scenario. A buyer's excited, but they are dragging their feet. Raise your hand if you've ever had a scenario where a buyer drags their feet. You did a buyer consultation, they seemed like they were stoked, saw a few houses, and then they just dragged their feet. And they told you that they wanted to buy a house. They told you that they were pre-approved, and they told you that they were excited, but for whatever reason, they're dragging their feet. I love this. So let's go to a couple scenarios here. Suggested responses. Let me ask you this, Joanna. If you were sitting here in 30 days from now and you were holding the keys, what needed to happen for you to feel good about today's decision, about moving forward, about writing an offer? Or here's an alternative. What would need to happen for you to feel comfortable moving forward, right? Like what needs to happen for them to feel confident in taking this next step? Oftentimes people are dragging their feet, but we're not calling them to the carpet. We're not stopping and saying, you know what? Blessing, I hear you and I understand where you're coming from. What needs to happen in order for you and your family to feel super comfortable moving forward and taking the next steps? Tell me what it is. Maybe there's fear, maybe there's doubt, maybe they're just uncertain. They need a little bit more guidance. Like, what is it? What needs to happen in order for you to feel comfortable moving forward? Let them answer. So perfect. Here's what the next step is. What we need to do is we need to start previewing homes. We need to do our buyer consultation. We need to have a strategy session, like set those next steps to make sure that we're mitigating their stress, their fear, their anxiety, and their lack of certainty. You see, our process of doing an effective buyer consultation, of having the strategy session, will do all those things. And listen, I don't care if the consumer is 2 years out and they say, we want to wait. Still get on a buyer presentation with them. Still explain strategy to them. Still let them know how you are going to advocate for them and how you're going to teach them and how you're going to lead them through this process. Make sense, everybody? Any questions thus far? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Cool. Let's go here. I've been talking about verbal graffiti. I've been talking about the discipline in our language, not slipping up with the words that are ruining our sales process. And you know what they are. So here's some things that we want to have everybody remove. And I'll say this one more time from the mountaintops. Remove language like this. Would you like to? Just checking in. No pressure. Man, I heard this. I heard this on a call. No pressure. Right? Would you like to do a buyer consultation? No pressure at all. So they said the words and they instantly took it back. They said, would you like to do a buyer consultation with me on Tuesday? No pressure. Instantly took it back. What? Stand on your own 2 feet. Be proud of taking somebody through a buyer consultation, not no pressure. And Nishan, I'll see your hand. I'll get to you in just a moment. Replace with the next step is. Here's what we do next. What most people do here is this. Let's put structure around this. Let's put strategy around this. Let's set up a game plan. Those are things that shows your consumer that you are in charge, my friends. Nishan, let me go to you really quick. I'm going to pause for a second. What do you have for me, big dog?
I have a question. I have a friend. He's said that he's looking for properties in some neighborhood, but I don't know whether he's ready to buy. He wants an investment property per se. So I don't know how to approach that.
Okay, so I think that there's some criteria that you'll obviously need. price range, city, what is he looking for? Is he looking for a duplex, a multifamily? Like, what is he actually looking for? I think there's a discovery call that needs to happen. Have you got him on a call to do a discovery?
No, this is my first time.
Okay. And you're brand new to the team, so you haven't got your Real Scout app downloaded yet, right?
Nothing.
All right, so cool. So then make sure that you get all of your apps set up. The one thing that you'll do is you'll put him in a Real Scout. You'll set up a search based on his criteria and his budget. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hop on a strategy call. Listen, I want to understand what you're looking for, what the price range is, time frame, budget. I want to make sure that I set up my criteria specific to your needs. So I'm available today as well as tomorrow. Does 3 or does 4 o'clock work? And book him for an appointment. He's got to see you now as not just a friend, but as a trusted confidant.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And if you need any help, my man, let me know. So I'm going to go back over to you guys, and I want you to ask yourself this question. When we think about the language discipline, where are you letting clients stall because you are afraid to lead? And I want to leave that there for a second, you guys. Where are you letting clients stall because you're afraid to lead? You're afraid of making the tough calls. You're afraid of setting the next steps because you might get a little rejection. It's okay. I promise you, it's okay. What people need is they need you to be their Sherpa. They need you to guide them through this process. They might have some misinformed information, and now they meet you. They meet Dr. Blessing, and Dr. Blessing is going to take them through this journey, and she's going to prescribe. She has checked the vitals. She has checked and diagnosed what is wrong, and she's now going to prescribe a solution. So you have to ask yourself, in your language, where are you letting clients stall because you're afraid to lead? And I want you guys to really evaluate this. Like I said last week, we are evaluating not only our physiology, our posture, our energy. How do we walk into a room? How do we start our showings? Right? The posture that we have when we go for a buyer consultation. What is the energy that we have at that moment? What is my written communication, verbal communication? I want you to analyze all these things, because what I want for everybody on this call is I want you to make more money for you and your family. And if that means that you guys get more time to go on vacations, to connect, to be free, then that's what I want for you guys. So ask yourself, where are you letting clients stall because you are afraid to lead? Make sense? Good. I'm going to go to the next part. Now, I'm going to be very clear on this next part. This is going to be a game changer ChatGPT prompt. And once again, I've said this and I'll say it again from the mountaintops. If you are not paying for ChatGPT, stop being a cheap ass and make sure that you have ChatGPT. Okay? That's it. I'm not going to say anything more about that. But I will pause here. Before we go any further with this call on this beautiful Friday morning, this part, what we're about to cover, this part right here is only for the committed. So if you're not committed to your growth, if you're not committed to doing the hard work, then this part is not for you. But for everybody else that is committed, that wants this game, then I want you guys to, before I go any further, I want you to light up the chat with some emojis, put some hands up, put some emojis on the screen. If you are committed and you want me to go to this next part, make yourself seen. Make yourself seen right now, because I want to make sure that we deliver on this, because this is going to have a really, really big impact on everybody. All right, so I feel confident to move forward. So let's do this. I'm going to go here. Since you are committed, I'm going to give you guys some cool stuff right now. Now, you saw a little glimpse of this on my social media yesterday, but I'm actually going to walk you through some really cool framework that I saw somebody present in Aspen. Like I said, sometimes you might not be able to go to these events. You don't have the budget to go to these events. It's okay. I'm always going to try to download as much as I can to bring back to you, so you guys are continuously growing if you're not able to be in these rooms. So you are going to want to take screenshots of this. I'm going to pause, take screenshots of this, and make sure that we do this work. So first part of this prompt is, what you're going to do is you're going to put this prompt into ChatGPT. And what you're going to ask it is, ask me questions about me until you have enough information to become my personal assistant, personal development coach, life coach, relationship coach, confident friend, faith advisor, and manager of my social media. I'm a newly committed, I got to put man, woman, whatever comes next, purpose-driven individual with the goal to serve my real estate community at the highest level. Ask me Ask me one question at a time, but no more than 10. And what you're going to do is it's going to ask you questions about yourself and who you are and why you're in this business. And now prompt 2, enter and fill in the following. Here are 3 things I need to stop doing. I need to stop procrastinating. I need to stop waking up late. I need to stop, not sticking to my calendar, whatever it is. Things that I need to start doing to move forward to be the highest version of myself. Waking up early, going to bed early, focusing on what I'm eating and my health and my routine and what's going into my body, right? So these are just some examples for you guys. You guys fill in your own blanks. Continue on. Prompt number 3. It's going to take some time, you guys. This is going to take some time because this is a really reflective process. Based on what you know about me, tell me the story of what my life would look like in 5 years if I knocked out my daily activities every single day. Paint a picture of the most grand version of myself, my business, and my personal life. Include specific examples of accomplishments, experiences I can have, the feelings I would have. Please keep in mind the 3 habits I need to start doing and the 3 habits I need to stop doing listed above, and any and all relevant information you learn from my 10 questions. And you guys are going to sit there and you're going to write and you're going to write and you're going to write. This exercise should take you about 45 minutes to an hour if you're giving it the care and the consideration and the time that it deserves. Prompt 4. Based on what you know about me, be brutally honest and tell me a story of what my life would look like in 5 years from today if I didn't stay consistent with my daily activities and kept chasing new ideas and shiny objects instead of executing the proven plan. Paint a clear picture of the missed opportunities, the version of myself that I could have become but didn't, and what my business and personal life would realistically look like as a result. Include specific examples of the accomplishments I never achieved, the impact I never made, and the feelings of regret, frustration, and wasted potential I'd be stuck with knowing I had the tools, the vision, the blueprint, but I did not follow through. Stay with me. And last but not least, what you're going to do is you're going to fill in this last prompt, and it's write an anthem-like song for my life based on adopting the new positive habits above, avoiding the negative and toxic habits. Ask me questions one at a time until you have enough information to write the song. I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm just going to pause because this exercise, you guys, I promise you, when you sit there and you do this and you type and you write and you get clear on your vision and where you're going, all the things that you're no longer willing to have in your life, what will happen is that now you tell it to create this beautiful song for you. And then what you do is you go in, I'll show you exactly how to do this. You go create your anthem. And that's your daily pump up. That's your mantra. That's what you listen to in the morning when you're having your coffee, when you're in the car. Those are words that you have created about your life, that you're filling your mind with the words that you set for yourself. So when you hit play, it's like, damn, that song is speaking directly to your spirit every single morning. Yeah, listen to your devotionals, listen to your podcast, listen to all the other stuff from other people. But start with the things that you want for your own life. Like fill your own cup with the vision that you have built for yourself, what you are no longer willing to tolerate in your life. That's why this exercise is so important. So what you do is you now take the song, you take the lyrics, you take the verses, and you take the chorus, and you highlight that whole entire thing. And then what you do, and I've been playing around with this since yesterday. You go into this app. It's called Suno, Suno. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your lyrics that you just created based off of those prompts, and you're going to dump them right in here. Then you're going to tell this AI tool how you want it to be, what you want it to sound like. Was it jazzy hip hop? Is it R&B? Is it Fall Out Boy? Is it this? Is it an anthem? Is it a piano ballad? And you'll enter in what you want it to sound like. Do you want a voice that is a male, a female? Like, what do you want this song to sound like? And then you're going to get all these different iterations. And I just did this yesterday and I'm still working on mine, you guys. It's not perfect yet, but I'll tell you what, just from what I put into it, that my parents were addicts and I grew up rough, all these things, I heard the lyrics and I was shook. I was shook. And I want to encourage you guys, if you're committed to your own personal growth, if you want to continuously feed your spirit and feed your soul with things that are meaningful to you, because it's from you. Yeah, you got the prompt, but you got to do all the writing. I promise you, this is going to be something that you're going to look back on and you're like, wow, that's going to be your fucking anthem that you can bump wherever you are. I'm going to go to Blessing really quick. Blessing, what do you have for me, my friend?
My son did this kind of prompt a couple of months ago and dumped it into Suno, and he played the song for me. I encourage you to have your family do this too, because I learned things about him that I didn't know. So it's really, really it's powerful, because the only way that we succeed in any business is if we know truly who we are, right? We get to the core of what drives us and what we're trying to do. And these questions, I think it was prompt number 3 that I was like, okay, Elias chose violence today. It's fine. We're going to the core of everything. But once you face those things, you become unstoppable. You take the pressure, you take the fear out of your own thoughts. And that's exactly what we were talking about before this, is that our consumers have fears and they need that certainty. And a lot of times everything that we do is just how we show up. As long as we feel confident in what we're saying, we'll deliver it. As long as we feel confident that we're the person that can get them to the end or to the finish line, it's fine. The delivery will be there. So these questions and this practice and really getting to who you are at your core, it's so much more powerful than, a real estate transaction. It's setting you up to face this world in a way that is so many people just don't have these tools. So if it's a free, you can do this with the free Chat GPT, but you owe it to yourself to upgrade and to really use these tools to be better, because if you don't, you're just going to get left behind. And I don't think that's what any of us want to do. So take this exercise beyond yourself and, share it with others.
Yeah, Blessing, I appreciate it. I understand that there's some music producers on this call, but not all of us are music producers. And so it's like writing in your journal and writing your affirmations and this vision that you have for yourself and the house that you want to buy and the boat that you want to have and the places you want to go and the travel and the family that you want to have. And then you write it all out and then you put it into chat and they create this song for you. And then you put it in a Suno. It's yours. It's so cool. I'll just give you a glimpse of one of the tracks. I'll just go here. I'll go here. It's really easy, you guys. You don't have to go in here and be like the studio professional, but I was playing this one earlier. Let me go. Let me turn this up. Bloodlines, but I rewrote the call. I've walked with doubt like a shadow in noon. Started over with nothing, still trusted the tune. Pain tried to name me, fear tried to stay, but I chose peace and I chose my way. So what's cool about this, you guys, this is for me, right? It's mine. So it's my story, it's my struggle, it's my triumphs, it's my vision, it's my goals, it's my dreams, it's where I want to go in life, right? I listen to songs, I'm like, man, that hits and I love that. Well, that was his or her, she wrote that. That was for them. Well, now I got something that I could listen to. I'm like, wow, this is just a really, really cool exercise. And listen, this is where we are in the world, you guys. We can leverage AI to make us better people, make us better humans, to leverage our systems and tools. But I thought that this was one of the most powerful things that I've done, and I'm still writing. I got a couple iterations, but I'm still writing and still continuously going in and finishing that prompt. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to go to you guys, get some key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today. Hopefully you guys found this helpful and you guys can go and apply some of the things that we shared today. So let's go around the room. Let's go back up to Christina, and we'll go to Joanna, and then we'll go over to Chris. Christina, what do you have for us, my friend? Key thought, key takeaway from our time together today. Christina Macias, that's you, my friend.
Hi. Yeah. I think just everything was a real great takeaway for me, making sure that we're being intentional with our time and that we are really understanding ourselves and what's challenging us inside and stopping us from moving forward. So I think just everything together was a big takeaway.
Christina, if you were to write or create your song today through Suno, what genre would it be in?
Country.
Country. Okay. All right. I like that. Listen, if you guys create your own song over the course of the next 2 days, once you guys do this prompt, send it to me. I want to hear it. I'm down. I want to share on that journey with you. So Joanna, let's go to you. Let's go. Key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today.
No. Hold on. Hi. You know what? It's funny because we have no problem paying for, Paramount's, Netflix subscriptions, Disney Plus, and I'm one of those that I'm like, oh, I don't want to pay for ChatGPT. But today is the day that I'm going to start paying for it, because you're right. We owe it to ourselves to be a better version, and we owe it to our clients, we owe it to our colleagues, everyone out there, to our family. That's what I'm doing today.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that, my friend, and thank you for your contribution. Let's go to Chris B, the big dog. What do you got for us, my man? Key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today. And then D. Bledsoe, you'll be on deck. Let's go.
Yeah, I love those. All the objections could have just kind of reiterates the fact that we really need to lead our clients and influence. And I'm thinking about the deals I have in escrow, and what if I didn't have those deep conversations and influence? I'd only have 2 instead of 5 deals, because 3 really took a lot of pushing, multiple meeting, deep conversations to get them to move forward. And the other 2 was just an open house lead, easy listing, and a referral. So I was like, I would have less than half the deals if I didn't really focus on the intentional dialogue. So that's really the main key for top producers, is you have to lead them to the promised land with data, facts, and match their tone and tonality to their style, and really connect with them. So I got a lot of that, and I love these prompts. And just like Joanna was saying, I think I'm going to start. That's true. We have all the subscriptions. I don't pay for ChatGPT because I don't really use it much, but I need to start getting in with the AI revolution. I'm going to pay for it starting today. I'm going to go on there. I actually just made a prompt. What's the difference between the paid and the free version? There's a lot of big differences. It's updated, just more better stuff. So I'm going to pay for it. Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, it becomes your personal assistant, your confidant, your coach, just on so many levels, and it helped me grow tremendously. So let's continue on. We got D. Bledsoe, we'll go Julia, and then we'll go to Alex. You'll be the last contribution of our day, my man. D. Bledsoe, being a writer, I know that, it comes probably easier for you than it does a lot of us, but from our whole session today, big dog, key thoughts, key takeaways.
Yeah, I'm not going to chime in on the Suno side of it from my standpoint. But what I will say is introspection. It leads to reflection and how you're reflected in reality. So like once you start going deeper into who you are, how you are, and why you tick like you do, then it's easier to maneuver out in the world with other people, because a lot of people get in their heads and they don't even think about why they are and what's stopping them from doing the things that they want to do or think that they should do. So again, once you contemplate on yourself a little more and go deeper, then it's easier to relate, and that all connects to sales and skills that we need when talking to these people about trying to push them down the funnel to ultimately buy houses, which, that's what we're trying to do. And again, getting out of your own way helps that. So I appreciate that takeaway today.
Appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for your contribution always. Julia, let's go to you, my friend. Key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today. Let's roll.
Yeah, so not specifically about today, but I just want to let you know, Elias, that I had the opportunity to work with someone that is on our team, but not very consistently on calls. And there is a huge difference between language. And I do notice that, like when we partner up with agents that I haven't seen on these calls, how they interact with their clients is so different. So I just want to say thank you, because I'm able to point that out in myself. And it's something that I can hold our team members accountable. And if there's one thing, very little that we can do, nice week, show up on these calls, because they're so important, and just thank you.
Well, thank you, Julia. I appreciate that, my friend. Alex, last contribution, big dog, less than a minute. Let's roll, my friend. Key thoughts, key takeaways from our time together today. Let's roll.
The key takeaway is I need a vacation. You came back with a fire that you're motivated, and it shows in the presentation, the speech, the I think you're saying we all need to go on these trips. I think we all need one of these trips, and we all need to get our veins pumped back up and really remind us that we need those times away to keep us motivated when it gets hard. We all need a break.
You guys, your coach needs coaching too. Like I have a responsibility to impact the growth of the humans that are in my environment. Well, I can't do that from an empty cup. I go to these events to fill my cup, to hear perspectives, to get dialogue, to hear one thing that I could turn into an hour-long presentation, which I'm going to do that for multiple people. So my man, I appreciate that. I'm always looking for ways to level up, because when I level up, that means I could bring things to you guys that if you implement, you can go and level up. So I appreciate you guys at a very, very high level. I missed you this week. I'm glad to be back on. So super excited about where we are. By the way, make sure you're here at the office on Tuesday. What's going on Tuesday? It's our year in review. Be here. We got a lot of cool things we're going to be talking about. Might leverage some of you guys to be my co-speakers, but make sure you are here on Tuesday. Everyone else can leave. Maria, my Arizona folks, you guys can stay on, but listen from the bottom of my heart. Keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Let's make today a day that truly matters for ourselves, for our family, for our life, for our fitness. Go out there and handle your shit, my friends. I love you. Peace. Have a great day. You don't have to leave, but you cannot stay here.